Alright, my Gucci Maniacs, I'm back. One of the Bells said that he wanted to see more like the cool stuff like the figures and all, so what I'm going to do is the imaginext DC comic book character figures I got, which are going to be appearing in my Batman series. I'm going to start off with Batman. Some of these Batman figures are basically the same mold, but just painted differently. Start with all the Bruce Wayne Batmans. Now this one's called the 1960s Batman, or Adam West Batman, from when Adam West played him. And this one is called the Michael Keaton Batman. I made a mistake in the video where I opened this one up and I called it the first appearance Batman. It's actually called Gaslight Batman, where when Bruce Wayne was believed to be dead and it turned out he was just traveling through time. Of course, during that time period, Dick Grayson became Batman. Well, anyway, this particular Batman is Gaslight Batman, where he was transported back to Victoria, England. So, now this is one of two versions of, or three versions of Batman Beyond Batman. And then you have the Thomas Wayne Batman, which is Bruce Wayne's dad. And if you ever read the comic book Flashpoint, because the Flash went back to save his mother from being killed, instead of Bruce Wayne's parents being killed in the crime alley, Bruce Wayne was killed. His dad becomes Batman and his mom becomes the Joker. Next is the Dick Grayson Robin. Then Dick Grayson is Nightwing. And if you notice the two with the blue, if you look close enough, you'll see the one on the left is slightly lighter than the other. Then the Jason Todd Robin. I know what you're saying, what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, they're the same Robin. Well, actually, if you could feel their capes, one of them's cape is a little bit sulfur, is a lot more, is a lot soft, has a lot more soft. The cape is soft. Getting tongue tied there. And the other one's a lot more rigid. The one that's more rigid is the Jason Todd Robin. And Jason, of course, you know Jason Todd got killed by the Joker in the Death in the Family story. To be honest with you, when they asked us in 1982 to vote, I was actually one of those people who voted to kill him off because I didn't like his attitude. Then they bring him back a few years later. A few years ago, they brought him back as the Red Hood. The next Robin they did was Tim Drake. And then, as we know, they brought Tim Drake back as the Red Robin. I don't have the Damian Wayne Robin, and they have not done a figure of Stephanie Brown as Robin. Stephanie Brown, who was Tim Drake's girlfriend, was killed off, and they brought her back as Spoiler. She started off as Spoiler. For a little while, she was Batgirl, if you know the story of DC Comics. Then Carrie Kelly, which was from a futuristic storyline. Then, of course, Batgirl. Then Batwoman. Then Black Bat. Signal. And then Huntress. Now, the Huntress is the last member of the Bat family. And of course, if you read DC Comics, the Huntress is actually the daughter of Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, from an alternate universe. Next, we have the big blue Boy Scout, Superman. Then Wonder Woman. Now, the Wonder Woman with the white cape is actually Flashpoint Wonder Woman. Then the Green Lantern. Yes, it's the movie version Green Lantern. The Green Lantern has always been one of my favorite characters. I just didn't like the movie that much. Not one of Ryan Reynolds' best. Then the Flash. Now, you're thinking, well, it's the Flash, but this one right here with the clear boots is the Wally West Flash, and the darker one is the Barry Allen Flash. You got Aquaman and Mara. I'll get it right eventually. Mara, his wife. Of course, one of my favorite characters, Plastic Man, which doesn't get enough respect. Black Canary, then Cyborg, then Black Lightning. Of course, after Black Lightning, we have Dr. Fate, the Blue Beetle. Now, this isn't my favorite version of Blue Beetle. This is the Ramsey Blue Beetle. I like to see them do a Ted Cord Blue Beetle figure in this form just because Ted Cord was the Blue Beetle I grew up with. Lobo and his little pet dog. Jan and Zana, and then Jan and Zana as a bucket of water and a hawk. And of course, Superboy. Now, I'm going to go on to the villains, and we're going to see the villains. Of course, you have to start with Batman's #1 foe, the Joker. And most of these Jokers are the same mold, just different colors. Catwoman. Now, the Black Cat came with this Catwoman in a blind pack. The purple one, y'all saw me open up that box, that blind box set. Of course, there's Catwoman that came in a blind Gotham box set. The Riddler, I know what you're saying, well, two of those Riddlers are the same. No, if you were actually looking close enough, and if I could get had better lighting, you could see that one of them is slightly darker than the other. They came with two different box sets. Of course, Harley Quinn. What would the Joker be without his main squeeze, Harley? Of course, Mr. Freeze, and that's Mrs. Freeze, Nora Freeze. Now, she's not really a villain. For a long time, she was just a frozen body and somebody who Mr. Freeze was trying to find a cure for. They did her in these little blind slammer things where he makes a vehicle. So that's how I ended up with her. I thought she was going to be just another version of Killer Frost, but she wasn't. Two-Face, and yes, I do have a Penguin coming. I just don't have him yet. I also got someone Grundy coming, and I also got Firestorm and Hawkman coming. Poison Ivy, Bane, Scarecrow. Of course, yes, both these Scarecrows are basically the same Scarecrow. They came with two different sets, just like two of my Killer Crocs. Now, one of my two Killer Crocs, my two Killer Crocs that are identical, one's darker than the other, so. And then you have Killer Croc with his pet Crocodile. And here's the two that are identical, but one's slightly darker than the other. Catman, Firefly, Black Mask. To be honest with you, if you look, I think Black Mask is just a ripoff of Red Skull. Deathstroke, Luthor. Everyone knows you can't have Superman without having Lex Luthor, and I got 3 versions of Luthor. 2 Captain Colds. One came in a box set with some villains. One came with a vehicle. Black Manta with a robotic shark. And of course, Cheetah. Brainiac, Metallo, and Steppenwolf. I hope y'all enjoy this. As other characters come, as I get blind packs and other boxes and sets and stuff, I will open them up on camera so you get to see who's coming. Until then, take care of each other. Good night.